Good morning, y'all. I'm Jessie, and I'm here on behalf of my fantastic WOCN nurse, Kim. Hi, Nurse Kim. As you can see, I've got a piece of my small intestine poking through my abdominal wall. Her name is Fiona, the Stoma. She ain't gonna be around for long. She's a loop ileostomy, which is a temporary ileostomy, which can be put back inside of the belly. And December 9th, I have a scheduled colectomy where they will reverse the ileostomy, put her back in, and then take out my colon and attach my small intestine to my lower bowel. So we're looking forward to that because I'm dealing with a bit of a peristoma hernia. I had this right after I was operated on. You could see the bulge underneath the stoma. So it's pretty painful, but we're gonna go ahead and do a bag change. So I'm just out of the shower. I washed around this area, the peristomal area, with a mild soap, ivory soap. And then I followed that up with Head and Shoulders, which has zinc in it, which is a great antifungal, and it it increases healing. Yeah, impedes is the opposite of increase. Anywho, let's give this whole thing a go. We're going to try and put the reference numbers up top and in the description box below. So I'm going to do what I normally do and explain what I'm doing as I do it. I've got some Stoma powder here. So this is great. This is the Adapt Stoma powder. And I sprinkle this right around the stoma where it's weeping. And I have some mucocutaneous separation, which means that the skin has not fully adhered to the stoma. So this is going to kind of hopefully help that heal and it go through cycles of healing and it coming apart. So it's kind of just been like that ever since I got this in June. June? Yeah. This right here is Nyastatin Powder. This is an antifungal powder that is prescription only, so there is no reference number to this. But I believe there are other antifungal powders that you can find that are not prescription only. But this is the Nyastatin, and I'm a very fungal girl, and when you go to the hospital a whole bunch of times like me and you've got a complex medical case, you tend to be exposed to a lot of fungus and yeast in the hospital where there's all those sick folk. But anyways, right now this is just a piece of TP. You could use gauze for this, but I am brushing off the excess and kind of moving it around so that it coats all of the places that are weeping and it sticks to those places so it increases healing, not impedes, because that would make no sense. So anywho, Fiona's being very quiet at the moment, and every time I say that I kind of screw myself because you know Murphy and his laws. Now we're going to follow that up with some Cavilon, and this is the 3M Barrier Wipe. I use 2 of these because I do what they call a crusting technique, and I do like the double crust, and I'll show you how that works. But anywho, this is a film that seals in the powder and creates like another layer of protection between your skin and whatever feculence or acidic stool might happen to leak out. Since I have a bit of a problematic stoma, for no, the surgeon is great. It's not her fault. She is amazing. My stoma nurse is great. It's just I'm a bit of a mutant who can't really heal very easily. So I don't know where I was going with that. What was that? Anywho, so back to the anywho's. You have to make sure every layer is dry before you start another layer. That will also help me avoid any kind of yeast sores or fungus among us. So anyway, we've got a nice, good, dry barrier here. And we're going to go ahead and repeat the process with the Stoma powder. And then I'm using the Adapt one. Referencing number will be above me or in the description box. So we got that, and we got the antifungal Nyastatin Powder, which we are done with these. So I don't know if I have time because Fiona tends to be very unpredictable. But, oh, as you can also see, I've got towels down. As you know, when you go see your WOCN, if you have an ileostomy or a colostomy, they will put kind of like little puppy pads down on you and use gauze. Well, that can get expensive if you're changing your bag like either every day like I am and have been for a while since things got a little wongo with the hernia. Or even every other day. That can be expensive. So, you know, wash rags, you just pop them in the washing machine in their own load. You don't want to spread that load around with your other clothes every day. That reminded me of South Park episode. Between all these layers, you want to constantly kind of dab at the stoma because it's like the inside of your mouth. So it's constantly got this, like, it's a mucous membrane. It's, you know, it's your intestine, for sake. We'll bleep that out. Anyhow, I'm doing my second coat of the Cavilon. Referencing number will be up there or in the description box. I will stop saying that. I think it's just a little early for me. But we're doing our best here. We're doing our best. Oh, yes. And I'm turning on my heating pad because that is how I activate the adhesive on my bag, which I use a Coloplast Sensura Mio Flex 2-piece. Reference number will be up here or in the description box. I will stop saying that now. And there we go. She's being really nice to me today. Now I'm drying it off. You could use a fan. You could use a card. You could use your hand. You could use whatever you want. And Cavilon doesn't take long to dry at all. It's really, really quick dry, which I like about it a lot. All right, so now that we've got that, what's the next step? Oh, yes, the ring. But first, I'm just drying off the stoma a little bit. Make sure that, I mean, you know, sticky things have a hard time sticking to wet things. So we have the Eaken cohesive ring. Not the slim. It's the, I guess, let's see, does it say? No, it doesn't say the thickness of it, but it's thicker than the slim. We looked into this once, but I don't remember. And I'm actually going to use the Brava Coloplast paste with this. And this is something that not a lot of people with ostomies that I have seen do, but everybody's got their own body curves and body, issues. So, you know, you find what works for you. And it took a little while to find this situation, but I found it. And what I do is I take, this is a bit of a hydrocolloid ring that is very flexible and moldable, and it expands when moisture hits it. So this is great as a gasket for your stoma. So you'll see what I mean when I go on with this process. I have the Brava paste, no alcohol, so no stinging with this, but this is also one of the thicker pastes that has no alcohol in it that I've tried that works kind of just as well as one that has a little bit of alcohol in it, because the alcohol does increase the stickiness of the paste. So I'll show you what I just did. If I could do it, there we go, that'll work. So what I just did, it's very sticky. I applied a bit of paste to the inner most ring of this. So that will be right on the very circumference of Fiona, as you will see when I apply this to said Fiona. But actually first, again, I'm going to try to dry her off so that when the ring goes on, another South Park reference, maybe shouldn't do that, get sued. We're gonna plop this right on here. I'm gonna make sure she's pushed down and really, really tight on my stoma. Some people don't need to have it this tight on their stoma. Some people actually place the ring on the wafer of their 2-piece appliance or on the base plate of their 1-piece appliance. And I could do like the stuff I have learned since having an ostomy. I could fill a book, but we don't have that much time right now. Okay, where's that little mirror? This is a little Coloplast mirror. Came with the sample box. These are really, really handy when it comes to needing to see the bottom part of the stoma, which is kind of in your blind spot. So, I mean, even if you're skinny mini or you're voluptuous vixen, you still need to see the bottom edge of your stoma. Okay, so now we've got the ring on, we've got the heating pad on, we're ready to apply the bag. This is the Coloplast Flex 2-piece system. I've already cut a hole. This is not a pre-cut wafer. I cut this hole and I do it every morning or every other morning if I'm lucky and I can actually wear a bag for more than a day. So anyways, the back peels off, exposing an adhesive side, which goes flat on the body where we've already laid down all this nice prep work. Let's go ahead and see if we can't get this on nicely. Because really, you kind of got to just like go for it and like hope for the best. I think that looks good to me. I think. It looks good enough. Anyways, then I make my belly as flat as I can in order to kind of place this in the best position possible so that when I'm bending or trying to bend, it will bend with me. That's what's so great about the Flex. The Flex is like real movable, but sturdy still. But you could try all the bags and all the companies. Hollister, Convatec, and Coloplast are the top 3. But there's a whole slew of other brands that you can check out. So at this point, I usually remove the towels, toss them. There's a bucket with a trash bag there for my poo towels. And then with this is the bag, pouch. And as you can see, I have a blue sticker on the filter because I've noticed that really none of the filters on any of the bags really work for me. So I just, cover that up. And then if I need to burp the bag, I burp the bag. And so then there you go. And you push that on. And you could either use your hands, or I used to use my hands as body heat to make that adhesive really like seal. But I've gotten some really great advice from fellow ostomy warriors that I didn't even know had ostomy. Hey, Claire, using your heating pad technique. So I'll use the heating pad on medium or high for 1 to 5 minutes. And that seems to do a good job. So while this is going on, oh yeah, and we have a dog, so we use a lot of dog poo bags for, if it's good enough for his stool, it's good enough for mine. So we'll put my dirty bags in these, or, the trash from a bag change. These are very handy. Gesundheit, baby. It's been just an ease. Anywho, I want to also mention a few other products which will also be notated above. No, actually, these will be notated in the description box. The Skin Tack Wipe by Torbot. This is really cool. Like, if your skin is in good condition, These are fantastic because these add another layer of adhesive to your skin. So it really makes you have a leak-free seal. But it has alcohol in it. So if you have skin that's open like mine right now, I would avoid it. It just will increase the stinging and it'll increase bleeding. But the Torbot Skin Pack Wipe, if your skin's in semi-good condition, use this. It's a adhesive barrier wipe. They're calling it a barrier wipe. So I actually think it provides a good barrier between adhesive and skin. But it just happens to be an adhesive barrier, so it's pretty cool. I've got the Convatec Stomahesive paste here. This is a really great paste if you are needing a very, very, very like sturdy hold. This actually I found has some adhesive properties where most of the other pastes are not meant to be adhesive. They're meant for caulking and filling in the spaces and the divots that are around your stoma, so as to provide a barrier, an extra barrier against the feculence leaking out. And sometimes, when you got your ileostomy, you get, sometimes it's like output that's the consistency of pudding and like oatmeal. I know, really, really TMI, guys, but it's the reality of the situation. But a lot of times it can be like liquid, like water. And that's really, really hard to keep out of, well, it's hard to keep away from the rest of your skin or from getting from underneath the barriers that you put down. The Eaken Cohesive Paste, this is one of my favorites. It doesn't have the thickness that the other ones do, but this also is alcohol-free. It has a fluffier consistency, and it really, really feels like, well, nothing at all. It's a very healing paste. This has like some healing properties that the Eaken ring that I use have. So this used with the Eaken ring is kind of like a double dose of healing. So on that note, we changed gears into the barrier flange extenders or base plate extenders. This is the Coloplast one from Brava. Brava's the company that goes through Coloplast, or it's Coloplast's company. I don't know. It's part of Coloplast. But this is the elastic barrier strips. These are the shape of a little C, and they're like I would take it out, but last time I took it out to try and show anyone, they went flying. But they're like a silicone barrier that extends your base plate, and it adds more support to the area, and it also makes a bit of a waterproof, it makes your whole thing a bit more waterproof, which is great when you want to go swimming with your bag on, or go into the ocean, or if you've got a shower because you want to make your bag last a little longer. These waterproof options are very helpful. Now where the Brava fails is that when you work out, your body heat and the sweat that comes from your body, I found for me, they just kind of peel off. So for me, it's not exactly perfect for that. But for just waterproofing, it's good. If you don't have a medical supply company or things are too expensive, this is a cheap alternative that is, I'd say, just as good or better than this Brava strips. It's thinner. It's called High Tape. You can get this on Amazon, and I'll put a link. What's up?
Your fingers covered in the angle.
Thanks, baby. My husband's a cameraman. He's helping me out here today. Thanks, Richard. This is High Tape. It's the pink tape. It's got zinc oxide base, which is, like I said, it's antifungal, and it's very healing. It does not impede healing at all. It increases your healing. So this is great. This doesn't, it's not going to irritate your skin. If you're an older lady or man or anything, it's not going to pull your skin off. This is very gentle, yet it creates a very great waterproof seal if you put it on the edge of your base plate. So I'll put a link to this below. This is like, I think I paid $11 for like 3 of these, maybe even more. I don't know. I got a good amount of multiple boxes of the pink tape. It's just, looks like this, like calamine lotion, which is also really great for healing the skin around the stoma, but we only have so much time here, guys. SureSeal rings. These are by Active Lifestyle Products, Inc. Okay, SureSeal rings. So you can get this from your medical supply company. I don't know if you can get this on Amazon, but these are crazy cool. These now will stand up to your active lifestyle. I accidentally got one that was too small for my flange. So what I do with these is I cut them in half. So half of them will go on the top side, half of them will go on the bottom. And you peel this part off here, and it's a little hard to, the only problem with these, they're hard to get on. But once you get them on, it leaves a Tegaderm, super thin, clear, waterproof, sterile, but breathable seal around your base plate. These are fantastic. Next time I get these, I'm gonna get them in the big square version that would fit my flange, so I don't have to cut them. But even if you get these and you know they don't fit you, I mean, you can make it work. So these are great. They do stand up to body heat and sweat and all that, and everything else, and it doesn't feel like you have anything at all on your skin, which is really cool. It's cool, but it's also like, if you want the support and you have high output, you might want something thicker and more sturdy, like this, like the Brava elastic barrier strips. And also Hollister and Convatec also have their own types of barrier strips that you can look into. But I think that is it, and that's all I have to talk about. This is where I remove my heating pad, make sure that it is turned off, because you don't want to start forest fires. At least that's what Smokey the Bear says. Anywho, so now we've got this. We're going to check all around with our finger just to make sure we've got a good seal and everything seems good. So I will go now and put my lubricating deodorant in the bag, which, really quick, let me just let you know, you don't have to buy the fancy ones or get them from the medical supply if your insurance does not cover that. You can just mix baby oil, mineral oil, with a little bit of these cheap deodorant drops that are just as good as the M9 Hollister drops, which are supposed to be the best. I think they're just as good. I've had samples of both, but the Safe and Simple, I don't have it with me, but I'll put the reference number, you know. So the Safe and Simple Ostomy deodorant or deodorizing drops. So just mix a few of those drops in with the mineral oil. I like mineral oil. Everything just slides out nice and clean. And it's like way cheaper, way cheaper. The Safe and Simple thing is, I think you can get it on Amazon for about like $12 to $13. And then mineral oil is what, 99 cents? More or less. So anyways, once you put your oil or whatever inside, you can actually, with the Coloplast Sensura Mio line, whether it be the one piece or the flex or the two pieces, you could tuck this in and you have a smaller profile, smaller bag here, which is really nice for some people. So anyway, that's it. I'm about to go get started with the rest of my day. I hope this was informative to all of you, and thank you, Miss Kim. You're amazing. I love you. This is just for you. Mwah. And for all of you other ostomy warriors. So take care, and I think that's it.